Okay. This time we're talking about Shadow and Bone by Lee Bardugo. I don't know.
Bardugo.
Bardugo.
I don't know how to. I feel so bad now. We should look up how to say her name.
Yeah, I don't know.
Never thought about it.
So
It's Shadow and Bone. Everybody knows it. If you don't, you square.
it's a series of 3, and there's now a series on Netflix.
Yes. So there's a trilogy. There's 3 books for Shadow and Bone. But then after that, there's 2 more for The Six of Crows. And then there's 2 more for King of Scars. So they're all set in the same world, and a lot of the characters overlap and go between them. So the show on Netflix. Yeah, go ahead.
So the show is 5 of the books, right? Or no?
I think so. It has a little bit of, I haven't watched it yet, but I hear it has a little bit of Shadow and Bone, and it has a little bit of Six of Crows, the first Six of Crows book. So
Are all the books out right now?
yes.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
So who here has read the book, Shadow and Bone? Who here sucks? It's okay. We still like you.
I was in the room for a couple episodes while my husband watched it.
Oh, did he like it?
I mean, he watched the whole thing, which is unusual for him, even if he likes something. So, I mean, he didn't talk shit about it.
Okay, I'll take that.
But I was in the room, so like I kind of saw. I get the like background of it, I guess.
Okay. Well, since Anne has read it the most recent, you should do a synopsis.
I hate when you put me on the spot.
It's probably been 2 months since I've read it.
Liz, when did you read it last? Not that long ago.
No, but I'm on the last book, so I would probably give spoilers if I did a synopsis.
Okay, so you have to help me because I get so confused between all these fantasy books you're reading. So, not an assassin.
The main character,
Elena.
I call her Alina in my mind, but
I call her Elena.
I never look up the things. So she has, I don't know, can I say that? So she is an orphan, and her friend was also an orphan. They grew up in the same house, and it kind of goes through her life where she kind of gets entangled with some of the royal people and ends up living in their house or in the castle. I don't want to give away too much. And then it kind of goes into spoilers after that.
Yes.
So,
So it's all set in this like fantasy world with kings and queens and magic. And I liked how they explained the magic in this though, where it's not just like wands and spells. It's like kind of sciencey, where they like manipulate different types of material or things, essentially.
And they go to school once they figure out what their power is. They go to school to learn how to use it. So it kind of goes through a lot of that too in the history of it.
I really enjoyed those parts because it wasn't like, oh, you just have this crazy power. It's like you have the ability to make this power great, but you still have to like refine it.
I agree. What did you guys rate it?
So I would rate it a B because I did find it to be a book where I wanted to read the next chapter. Like I read it fairly quick, I'd say a week and a half. And I thought the story flowed well, but I didn't really relate to the main character. And that caused me to not rate it higher. There were just some things in the book that I didn't agree with. And so it was a little frustrating at times. Okay.
Good one. Andrea, what's your rating?
So I rated it a B+. I really liked the story, but I agree with Madeline. The main character, I was like, she's okay. And then the love interest she has is boring. Like, and there's just nothing there that I was like, this is interesting. No, it was just, I just thought he was kind of like blah, Whereas in like our court books, you're definitely drawn to the characters. I felt like I related more to the court books, and I was way more excited to read them. These I was excited to read. I read it in 2 days, the first one, but I still wasn't like dying to read the next chapter like I was like the court books. So that's why I gave it a B plus.
Basically, the court books ruined us, and nothing will ever compare again.
That's true.
So,
100%.
thank you, Sarah, for that.
It's like my biggest fear in life.
Yeah.
Nothing's as good as court. So we're all in like the same ballpark. Andrew and I have a different rating. I gave it a B minus. I was actually really close to a C plus because the main character sucks. She's weak. I don't like her. So
She does complain about having to kill people sometimes, like in a whiny sort of way, and I'm like, oh my god, just do it.
and she's so like self-deprecating, and she's like, I'm not that cool. I'm like, shut up. All right. I don't like her. I think
Spoilers. We have
Okay.
to dive into this. I really liked the part when it talked about her power, how it had been dormant for so long, that because she was suppressing it. And that's why she was not, like, she was tired all the time. She wasn't, like, really physically fit. And then when she started getting her power back and, like, accepting who she was, I expected her to be a more confident, powerful, really, like, own it at that point. And it didn't seem like that big of a change. Like, they really built it up. And then it was just, oh, nope, Alina is the same person after. And I found that really frustrating. I was looking for more character development. I also, okay, what was the boy's name?
Mal.
Mal. Okay, I liked him. And I do have a suspicion that he has powers of his own, like the tracking and whatnot. I thought that was really an interesting aspect to the storyline. That I was okay with that they didn't dive into it in this book because I feel like they probably will later on.
I think he's like an animagus.
Yeah. I thought there was something there and it was a little intriguing, but like Alina and him's relationship, it was just like, are you guys in the friend zone? Are you not? Like they said that they weren't, but then they totally act just like they're in the friend zone.
But what about how he's like not a womanizer, right? But he like gets around and he does like all this while she's like obsessed with him, right? And then all of a sudden she becomes powerful and gets his attention and all of a sudden he wants to be with her, right? Meanwhile, she's been there his whole life and he's just been sleeping with other girls all the time. Like, what the hell? He doesn't like you. Like, what?
I thought her reactions to him were stupid.
Yeah.
It was just like, why is she such a little baby about this?
I also
Kelly, she finds out she's super powerful, like one of the most powerful people, right? And she's still super like, I'm not that important. Like, I'm not that special. And is like super like shy and timid.
The part I saw that I saw part, hopefully it doesn't ruin 3 books at once, you guys, but I saw a part where she was with like this older woman who like took her because she found out she had powers, and they were like sitting in this room and she was like trying to teach her stuff. And she was like, oh, I can't do it. Like, I've never been this girl. I was always like so quiet and shy. And I'm like, okay, well, you're here now. You're stuck in this room. Like, what's the problem?
She just never embraces it.
She like fights it the whole time or like hesitates the whole time. And I'm like, great, even though you have these powers, you are going to be worthless because you're going to overthink it the whole time. So you might as well go back to the other side of the terror or whatever it is.
I thought it was frustrating. I thought it was frustrating when the Darkling was offering to give her like the black Kafka, and she's like, "No, I want to blend in with everyone else." And it's
I like how he said that too. He's like, "You want to be just like everyone else."
Yeah, it just seemed like time and time again she didn't take the initiative to live up to like what she could actually do.
Yeah.
So if Kelly read this book, she would hate her because she doesn't want to wear black.
She turns down a black cloak, Kelly.
That's like the ultimate cloak. Like only the top guys and girls get that black cloak in all the movies. Like the Sultan wears white. How boring. You're gonna get that dirty in a day. Jafar wears black. Guess who like does the most stuff in that movie if you look at it? Jafar.
Darth Vader.
Kelly would love the Darkling.
Yeah.
I'm just I didn't like the girl. I didn't see much of it, and I was just in the room for like episodes here and there. But like, yeah, it just seemed as if she was always kind of like the powers are wasted on her. They should have chose somebody else.
Yeah.
I haven't.
Who thought? Oh, go ahead, Madeline.
I was just going to say that I haven't watched the show yet because I wanted to finish the books. But I do think that they did a good job casting because I've seen obviously like trailers and stuff for it, and it is very similar to what I had pictured when reading the book, especially the Darkling.
You mean
I don't know
Prince
who the Darkling
Caspian?
is?
What?
He's Prince Caspian?
Yeah.
Oh my god, I did not pick up on that. I only saw it like
Wait,
I
hold
saw
on.
a
Back
preview.
up. What?
The
Prince
Darkling
Caspian.
wears all black. He's like the leader of the magical army, the magic army. And
Okay.
he it's called the Second Army. And the actor who plays him is the actor who played Prince Caspian.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you guys said that when you guys were initially talking about it.
What were you going to say, Liz, when I interrupted you?
Who thought the Darkling was going to be good?
I did.
Yeah.
And that is from Court. Because Court is bad. It's
I
a
also
thing.
I know. I wanted the Darkling to be good so badly. Like this tall, dark, handsome, powerful guy, right? Turns out he's just bad.
I mean, it depends on what way you want to look at that.
Is
Kelly's
this
gonna
like
defend it.
Maven
Wait
and the
for it.
Because I feel like
If I watch the show, I could probably argue it the other way for you guys.
You should watch it and then you let us know. I have to admit, so I have a recommendation if you guys like Shadow and Bone. Once you finish reading other fantasy books, right, in the Shadow and Bone series, this author, Lee, she wrote this book called Ninth House, and it's set in like our world, but it's fantasy, and it is amazing.
It's a single book, right?
It's supposed to have a sequel, but it's not out yet. I did not know that when I started it, but it's super good. You guys would all like it. I think Kelly would actually really like it because it's set in our world and it's really dark. So
What would
Thank you for thinking of me.
you're
like
welcome.
when we're like, I think so and so would like this, like when we thought Madeline liked circus people.
I think you like this book because it's about carnies. Everyone's got a type.
Slightly offended.
Anytime they see somebody wearing black, they're like, Kelly would like this person. She loves black clothes, even though I'm wearing pink today.
That is
But
quite the color pop for you.
All
What
my
kind of
black,
books do we?
all my black's dirty. Or like in the
I think it's-
dryer.
I think it's hard to predict what books Andrea would like because she reads everything.
Yeah. I do like Court has been like one of my favorites series. I don't know. I kind of tend towards the romance side, like Gone with the Wind, that's a romance book.
Anytime somebody mentions a petticoat, I'm like, Liz.
True.
What? Get my smelling salts.
Where's my nice hoop skirt? I'm like, Liz, come on.
So there you have it. Shadow and Bone. Our thoughts, everything. Like the video. Subscribe to our channel. Woo!
Elena sucks.
Elena sucks.
So does Sharon.
She might get better. We don't know.
Sharon sucks too. You should wear more black clothes.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Stay creepy.
Stay creepy.